Welcome back. So in our last video, we had looked at the verbal communication and we've learned about the 6 C's of verbal communication, right? So today what we're going to cover is 2 other means of communication, which is nonverbal communication and the written communication. Because I think the written communication is also a form of nonverbal communication, so they tie together, right? So let us look at the nonverbal communication now. Nonverbal communication refers to the gestures, facial expressions, tone of voice, eye contact, body language, postures, and all other ways people can communicate without using language, right? So we as humans, we have a tendency to avoid or ignore non-verbal communication. We generally do not give importance to the non-verbal communication. Though it does not apply in all places, there are places that helps. For instance, imagine if you are in an interview or in a meeting. It helps you in many ways for both the receiver and the sender. So in an interview, the interviewer is considered to be the receiver and the interviewee is considered to be the sender. Here, the sender can non-verbally communicate by being well-dressed, showing confidence in their responses, by appropriate eye contact, etc. And the receiver can easily understand the sender's non-verbal communication to make a decision. So most of the times it works. However, we should not judge someone too quickly. But it's all about your practice and experience in understanding, as there is no certain rule for this. Let me give you a few examples of nonverbal communication and tips to improve it. Right? So let's say when you meet a person or when you meet someone, give a firm handshake. It's a nonverbal communication. It shows how confident you are. Proper eye contact is very important. That's the next one, right? So if you're speaking to an individual, try to look at the person's eyes as much as you can, which will help them know that you are interested in what the other person is talking. But if you are talking to a group of people, try to rotate your eye contact rather than looking at one place all the time. The next one is use appropriate face gestures. Smile all the time, right? But if you want to express some sad news or if you're explaining a tragedy, try to express it in your face. When you're talking to a person, that's the next one. When you're talking to a person, stop looking at your watch, right? Or your mobile phones, as it will give an impression that you are not interested or you're in a hurry, right? The next one probably can be nodding your head, right? So nod your head if you understand the person. So yeah. So that is a form of a non-verbal communication. There are a few tips. These are the few tips, and we will talk more about these in the upcoming videos. As I said in my previous videos, this is just to understand the concept of communication, and I will do detailed video in the coming days. Now let us look at the written communication. What is a written communication? A written communication means sending of messages, orders, instructions in writing through letters, circulars, manuals, reports, telegrams, office memos, bulletins, etc., right? So it is a formal method of communication and is less flexible, right? Why do we use written communication? Let me tell you why I use written communication, right? I'm a person, what you can call is I'm a people person, right? and I love talking to people rather than sending emails and messages. However, sometimes written communication is very important because it will help you in the future for references. Why we need to sign a written agreement? That's one of the important factor of it, right? We sign a written agreement. Why do we do that? Because it will help in the future if there are any legal disputes, and it creates permanent record of evidence. Right? We are humans and we tend to forget things. Person like me, I have a very bad memory. It's okay, because not everybody will have all the abilities, right? So what do I do to remember my things? I write things in my notepads, right? If I want to buy groceries, let me tell you something. If I want to buy my groceries, my wife would call me and will start telling things that she wanted. I will tell her, you disconnect the call and WhatsApp me the details so that I don't forget. That is why written communication is very important. It is sometimes also easy for long distance communication and can be sent to many people at a time. While the aforementioned are the advantages, it also has its own limitations based on the situation. I'll tell you a few for you to understand. Number one, it does not work in emergency. So if you have an emergency and you write an email, right? So the response time is going to be, it's going to take time. So it doesn't work in an emergency. Now, sometimes if you want to send an email, you may not probably know that the receiver has understood it properly or not. That's one of the disadvantages of it. Secrecy cannot be maintained as the oral communication. Right? So these are some of the disadvantages of written communication. So we have kind of understood what a written communication and the nonverbal communication. That's all for today. Hope we are all learning something and my videos are helping in some form or fashion. Please leave your valuable comments under the video and make sure that you subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon to get notification when the next video gets on my channel. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.